Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and for another episode of the show, SME Unleashed. Today we have a chief guest, someone who's studied here before, Strathmore University alumni. I'll allow her to introduce herself. Her name is Loren. Loren?
Right, thank you for having me. My name is Loren Anduvare. I am an alumni of Strathmore University. I did my MSc in IT, focused on business intelligence and data analytics. I've been a BI and data analytics in my career, rather. I've done that for about 8 years now. So I've worked with different industries, different companies, small, medium, large companies, and we've helped them transform their data into useful decision making. So aside from that, I do have a YouTube channel on data that teaches people how to use data, and it's called Data Talks with Loren. So please subscribe if you haven't encountered it or if you've never heard of it. That's my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm a project manager. I'm a BI and data analytics developer, and also a consultant. That's me.
And of course, we have the co-host.
Robert Yawe, faculty at Strathmore University, and part of the Strathmore Centre for Value Investing.
Yes. So today we are going to look at business intelligence and why it is very important for SMEs. So Loren, tell us, what is business intelligence and why should SMEs, bother with it?
Okay. All right. So let's start by identifying that BI has different segments. There's the data collection. It starts there. Then there's now integrating this data into, if let's say they're in different locations. If it's in one, there's no need for integrating. But let's say people are storing on premise, on cloud, all this data needs to be in one integrated system, so that now when you're using it from a single source of truth, which is what we call a data warehouse. So aside from integrating, now we move to the next step where now you make use of this data, right? So business users usually have questions that they need answered from this data. So depending on the knowledge workers, maybe if it's in a finance industry, you need to talk to these experts. If it is in a HR industry, you need to talk to these people so that you understand what they want to derive from their data. Having these questions in mind helps you now when you're getting to the data bit. What kind of queries are you writing on the database? And what kind of views are you writing or stored procedures, which now translate the logic that you've been given by these individuals to now interact with this data from the different tables or the different tables. Now you get that information, write queries about it, and then transform it into now answers, which are provided by the visuals that you see, maybe Power BI, Tableau, all these fancy bar graphs and pie chart, which are the end result. Yeah. Aside from that, there is now the bit of ETL, which is the extracting, transforming, and loading this data. So ETL is used now to help you to get the data together, because all this data is coming in every day, right? Okay. So you see, after you've developed this solution, you're not going back to it. You want to set up schedules which help you when this new data comes in, it will mirror the same logic. It transforms, it load into
what is logic?
The visuals.
Okay. Before we even get to logic,
yes.
Now you've spoken a different language.
Yeah. Which one?
Now that was tech. Now let's discuss this in English.
English.
So in English, where do I start? Do I start with a question?
Yes.
Or do I start with the data?
Start with the question.
So before I collect any data, I must know what question I need answered.
Yes.
Now, on average, what is the most common question that an SME would want answered?
All right. So maybe they want, let's say, a key performance indicator of them will be sales.
Okay.
Will be demographics. What kind of people are we selling to? Location. Which location is doing better in terms of certain products that they are offering?
Okay. That's now if they are multi-locational.
Yes, if they are multi-locational. Or they could be single, but then they want to try out a new location. So they can start by understanding what kind of people are they selling to and where are they before now investing or even expanding to new locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So question first?
Yes.
And then?
Now that will help you collect the right data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Generally, how many times have you found somebody who already has the data and then now he's asking the question?
Many times. Almost 90% of the time. They have so much data. They're like, what am I going to do with this? Because now they're understanding, data is this new thing coming in. I already have this data. Come in and help me see what we can derive from this, because I need analytics reports that will help me make decisions.
Okay. Yeah. Now we are dealing with an actual SME.
Yes.
So now you've walked in, I have my data.
Yes.
And now is when I'm asking the question.
Yes.
So what would the journey be like to get you to now go into my existing data?
Yes.
And extract?
All right. Good question. So the journey is having requirements gathering sessions with these people. So you organize a session with them, understand, first of all, what it is the business is doing.
Okay.
So once you get a picture of what this business is doing, you now get to ask them questions around that. You get to ask them which kind of department, maybe, for example, if they have departments, which kind of departments do you have? And this department, what are their functions? And what is kind of reports are they currently doing? Okay.
Which is usually none.
Or they do maybe some sketchy reports that are,
Excel.
just Excel. Maybe someone just creates a profit there, sales, basic Excel. Okay. So that is what you want to know. That's basic, whatever they have.
Okay.
So that will help you now understand. Now the logic question comes in here.
Yes.
Logic is basically, what kind of calculations maybe am I doing on this Excel? So maybe I'm saying sales for this month. The logic will be probably to now understand which field are you using for these sales? On this Excel of yours, which column are you using to derive sales?
Okay.
So maybe I have column A, I use this and I count the number of customers. That already is information that puts you into place to know maybe per customer, they have this number of sales expected. And then now that information is what goes into the query. When you're writing the query, it goes into now, you're using now this math that they've given you, the basic math, but now translating it into take this number of customers times or plus this number of sales.
So it's what they do.
Yes.
Even though they might not know the name, it's logic.
Exactly.
Okay.
Basically.
Wow.
Yes.
So that I get it so clearly, if we now go to English, where you put logic in between, then you're now removing. So the first step was data what?
Data collection.
Okay. So
yes.
In which case our SMEs
already have. Yes.
Then the next step was?
The integration bit.
Integration.
Yes.
This is where the logic comes in, or this logic comes after?
After. So the integration, during collection, we've come in, we've done the requirements gathering,
yes.
We've understood what kind of questions they want to answer out of the data,
yes.
What kind of calculations they usually do.
Yeah.
And then now we want to, let's say they already have, you still need to collect this data because probably it's in this different system, but you want to put it in a database.
Okay.
Maybe it's in Excel, in a folder somewhere. Now you want to put them into a database. It's still part of collection, right? Then now you've collected, you want to probably do some cleanup if there is cleanup needed. You want to do this cleanup, and then now you, if once it's cleaned, now you put in the queries and whatever they told you they want.
Yes.
Calculations and all that is now done. That's what is called transformation, kind of. Yes. So now you've taken that, then you. After transforming the data, it's now ready for reporting. So it feeds now the reports that you want to do. Maybe now you pull this data to a reporting tool. For example, Power BI.
Power BI.
Yes.
So for the people who don't know Power BI is a reporting tool.
It's a reporting, one of the reporting tools.
Amongst many.
You can use Python if you've heard of Python.
And all this
we've heard of Omyeri.
And all this needs coding, or you don't need coding?
You do need coding. Some people, if it's not
Python
complex, yes, definitely.
Okay.
But if it's not a complex structure of
SMEs are not that complex.
Yes, you can still pull the data directly from the database into Power BI. And in Power BI, a good thing that Microsoft has done on that is helping you write things that are called DAX expressions. So these are like queries, but can help you do those calculations that we are talking about on the database. Yes.
Okay.
But the reason why SQL, or maybe for instance that tool in the database is good.
You have to explain what SQL.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
You can't just...
Structured query language.
Yes.
So the reason why it's important is when this SME grows, that data becomes a lot more. So setting the right foundation is important, because now it will help with that magnitude of data coming in. Already it will be easier doing these queries on this side than on doing it on Power BI.
And SQL is what now? You've explained this.
Yes, it's a platform where you write your queries, you write your views.
So basically,
it's a language to talk to data.
Yes, hence the query language.
You know me, I have not talked about that, so
no, it's
I have to
okay.
really understand this.
Yes.
So basically, business intelligence cannot be done by a normal manager. You have to have
some basic underlying skills.
Good. We need to clarify that so that founders don't go back to learn.
Back to school to learn how to become analysts.
Do business intelligence.
Yes.
So which means we are saying either they hire internally or they get a consultant.
Yes.
Because they can't do it themselves.
They can't do it themselves.
Because they lack
the skill set. However, with some training, because nowadays we have these trainings that are being done. Let's say if someone has been trained on Power BI, they are very capable of doing a self-service BI. Okay. So you can be able to know what is this DAX, the data expressions, the data analytics expressions, which are now what help you do the calculations, summations, all these different calculations in math. And then you can now understand how this platform looks like. How do you pull data from maybe an Excel to Power BI, then now from Power BI to these visual interactions, creating filters. How does this filter affect this one? How does it not affect this other one? With that training, they're able to do it by themselves. Yes.
And so why should they know about this business intelligence? Why should they know all about what you just explained?
It is important because, first of all, it sets their foundation right as a company, as a growing company. And this can be assisted by, let's say, customer retention. The existing customers, right? Knowing them helps them to either improve the services they're offering to them or the products they're offering to them, or customer acquisition in terms of trying to understand what kind of demographics are buying their products so that they do targeted marketing campaigns. Because it's usually important to understand your people so that you're not doing blanket campaigns which are not helping you bring in either new customers or making more revenue, because that's the end goal. So it's a good thing so that now
So it's mostly sales oriented.
Yes, mostly sales oriented, or diversifying their products or services, or growing as a business, or even in terms of their staff, understanding their productivity so that they help relate with these customers. Sometimes the problem is within, or maybe with the staff, they are told a certain target, but they're not meeting their targets. Why is this the case? Is it that they are not talking to these clients in a specific manner, or what is their training needed and all that? So it helps them answer such questions. Yeah.
So it's more beyond just the sales part.
Yes.
So you can use the intelligence to monitor even the journey.
Even the journey, correct.
So you know how you're delivering from first engagement all through.
All through,
But then that also then means that it's not only my point of sale that needs to be in digital form, but also other parts of the business, the HR, the CRM.
Yes.
So all those have to be in place if I'm going to get the right type of intelligence.
Correct. You're very spot on that.
So no more writing on pen and paper.
No more writing on pen. That's why it's called digitalization. Yeah.
So
you're transforming.
You use that the time writing. We usually have a problem when you trying to explain what digitalization is. Digitalization is.
Yeah, or even inventory control, sorry.
Yeah, and we are trying to, the reason why we are having this conversation is the SMEs we've interacted with are still not leveraging
on technology.
Okay.
Technology and also the existing data. So some will tell you, me, I do not know who my repeat customers are.
Okay.
You know, like holistically. Of course, you know this is Mama Nani.
Yes.
But holistically,
you don't
they
understand
can't.
their journey.
Yeah. So we thought this would be a good place to start the conversation on.
Yeah. Okay. That ties the whole conversation together. And even like logistics, you want to know, maybe in terms of supply, when is it supplied? When do you stock your goods or services? Like when do you like restock and all that? Because you don't want to have so many goods, yet maybe
they're not moving as fast.
So it helps you with the inventory control. It helps you with the logistics in terms of time and routes even. Because then on a Monday morning, probably it takes longer for these goods to arrive. But on a
Saturday or a Sunday, it might be faster.
It might be faster.
So you can coordinate when delivery is best done.
Even time.
And even time. Or maybe Friday, because Saturday things are moving fast. So let the goods come in on Friday, probably at a certain time, lunch hour. Yeah.
Because now you have data and you're extracting intelligence from it.
Yes.
And it shows you that you don't need to have too much stock Monday to Friday.
Exactly.
So Friday is when you should beef up your stock.
Yes.
Because chances are you'll run out. You have more business over Saturday and Sunday.
Correct.
And if you run out on Sunday, your supply most likely is not open.
Yes.
So you need to make sure you don't have stock outs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the key question here is always
an
issue of demographics with regards of BI.
Yes.
Most of the people we've met in terms of in the SME space are over 45.
Yeah.
This thing is so foreign to them.
Yeah.
So how do we start making it something they can think of or think about or consider?
Good question. You start with it's at small and scale, okay? You start maybe with a proof of concept. Use a small chunk of data of something they use frequently, of a report maybe they use frequently, and show them how this report, with these processes that I've mentioned, how it translates you to a nice visual that is so easy for you to interact with.
Okay, so let's use an example. Let's say it's a salon. You have the number of customers, of course. What's the most preferred hairdo?
Yes.
Who are your customers in terms of who comes and pays the large
Who
amount?
are the repeat?
Yes, who are the repeat. So you're saying we go to them and just pick one?
Now that scenario you've pointed is like an analytics dashboard on customer analysis. Okay. So customer analysis is our dashboard. Then now we have number of customers. We have maybe gender, male and female, a slicer for that. They can select by female and see this customer. Maybe when they joined, you had a start date of when they first came into the salon. Yeah. So you have that start date.
Yeah, we're assuming that.
Yes, yes, you have that start date, and then you see their trend. Are they a monthly customer? Do they come after 2 months? And what kind of services do they come after 2 months?
This is that specific customer.
That specific customer, yes. You've just selected female, you selected Loren. You see Loren started coming to this salon on last year, December.
Okay.
And since last year, December, she's been coming in every month.
Yes.
Maybe every month I come to do my hair.
Yeah.
And then after every 2 months, I come to do manicure and pedicure or a facial. And this Loren, at some point, she asked if we have a certain product, but we didn't have it.
Okay.
So if Loren asked about it, maybe it's something we need to consider to stock it here so that she doesn't have to go and buy it somewhere else.
Yes.
So with that, you can also ask other customers, do you also know about this product? Will you want it to be part of what you know, as part of the services or products we sell to you? And then if you get a good quorum, that already gives you an idea of what kind of sales you need for that product. Maybe I said I need, aside from doing my nails and hair, I said maybe I need a certain lotion.
Yeah.
So now you see, now that one is product diversification of something they are not thought about. But because of analyzing Loren, they know she asked about this. Or maybe Loren stopped coming. What is the reason why she stopped coming? Have we made a follow-up?
Yeah.
Was it because at this point in time, we had this saloonist who everyone was complaining about.
Oh, but first you have to be able to have the data that tells you she stopped coming.
She stopped coming, because you'll see.
Because if I have no data about whether she stopped coming, then so we can't do any intelligence.
You can't do any intelligence.
Okay, so it's not like witchcraft.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's all in the data. Yeah, because you can see she stopped coming in March. She had been coming frequently, but in March, when we had so and so, she just stopped coming.
So you're the one who makes that relationship.
Yes, and I think what you said is initially was very critical. Was what questions does the owner of the business want answered?
Correct.
Because if you don't know what question you want answered, it doesn't matter what we do.
Yes.
Because any data any intelligence I extract is not relevant.
Correct.
Because maybe all I want to know is there money in the bank?
Yes.
To meet my expenses.
Yes.
Now, if those are the only two decisions I want answered, questions answered, then really trying to give you
all these
nice things,
they're not helping you. You won't use those reports.
So I think so we now get down to really the crux of the matter.
Yes.
How do we get the SME to have an appreciation for questions being answered through their data?
Okay. So like I said, the proof of concept. So they have this small report that they use on Excel.
After all, most of them have bank statement. Yes.
And that's it.
And maybe M-Pesa statement.
Or they've been writing on paper.
Or you're just showing them this from a data set you've collected yourself.
Yeah.
So you come in with
with your own data set.
Yes, with your own data set. Maybe you've even just downloaded, but based on what you think their business is about, so that you give them an eye opener on what endless possibilities they're able to dive into.
I think that becomes the best entry point, because you have to make them aware of what it is they could be benefiting from.
Yes.
But they currently are most likely using a gut feeling.
Correct.
They're thinking, I think Nani has not come.
Yeah.
But they have no data.
Yeah.
So it's gut feeling about either asking around.
Yes.
So there's a way we can. What data allows you to what data allows me to do is to have an objective way of knowing how my business is running.
How your business is
and
running.
It's not about opinions or.
It's just what it is on the ground.
So numbers never lie.
Numbers never lie.
Okay, that has not changed.
No, it will never change.
Okay. What are the biggest misconceptions people have about business intelligence and data? Why are people so afraid of it? Why are we to now go back on it?
First is change. The older or even younger generation, but mostly older, they're like, this IT thing, it's coming maybe to take away our jobs, because things will be done faster, so my time here won't be needed, or I'll look irrelevant. Mostly, I feel like that is the thing that we've seen a lot. Adoption is a big challenge, even for big organizations, because after doing these nice reports and all that, probably the person initiating these conversations around data is not at par with someone in HR who is stuck to their ways of doing things. So they're not agreeing on why this is a good thing for this company, because maybe they're fearing about those, and lack of skills as well. Probably they don't have that. So it becomes a challenge, like, where will we get these people to do this business intelligence for us? Other people are afraid of their data being exposed, in terms of someone now knowing, this money that I've been putting, aside is now going to be exposed, because I'll be asked why are the sales low on this, this month, yet you're expecting certain sales. So there's that exposure that people are afraid of, especially if people are doing the wrong things.
The founder.
Yeah?
This can't be
No,
the founder.
it could be anyone around.
Okay.
It could be anyone who is just afraid and, saying, no, we let's not incorporate this BI thing. Everyone has their different reasons, but all that comes into light, because you see now data gives you a full picture of how this company is working and who is maybe productivity is low or higher, or sales. Why is this salesperson, not bringing in as much as expected, and all that. It brings that. There's that, and then a big conversation around cost.
Okay.
People are afraid of, it costs too much. We are okay with how things are working here. We don't need to spend this budget on this.
And is it true? It costs too much?
Well, it does. It depends. It does cost a lot because the systems are kind of pricey, especially let's say if you're doing a cloud solution. You see, cloud, because now there you're paying for other resources, the storage, you're paying for scalability if this data grows and all that. But you start small. First, identify what you need. Don't buy so many systems for no reason. You can just buy SQL, there's Enterprise and Developer Edition. So those two, understanding first what you need helps you not to spend too much. And then reports. The reports might be few. So in that case, you don't need to spend so much. Yeah, for an SME, it's just few reports. Because again, you see, there's the aspect of many resources coming in to do this. If the data is a lot, but if it's a small enterprise, you just need a few resources over a few months. So that won't cost you a lot.
What's the average?
Average cost for a BI? Let's say from a lower perspective,
For
around
SMEs.
1.5 M.
So SMEs should be, what? That's per month or what?
No. It's a one-time cost, but then you need to consider maybe Power BI licenses, for example.
Okay.
If you are, we need to be paying for these licenses for the sake of subscription and for the sake of continuously using. So that's a different cost that maybe might be paid annually or monthly, depending on the usage. Yeah.
I think you raised, I just want to take you back a bit. You raised a very interesting issue, was the resistance.
Yeah.
So at what level should this conversation about data intelligence be done? Is it at board level? Is it at senior management level?
Yes.
Or is it at operational level?
Wow, that's a good question. That could go either way. It could have started from someone at senior operation raising it to the board. Or it could have come from a board member trying to, top down or bottom up, right? So I think what should be done even before thinking about this, bringing in the solution itself, is have conversations with people in the company.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you understand and you try to cultivate the culture of why data is important. So that by the time all of you are now in agreement, or maybe majority, because now you understand why it's important for this institution to incorporate BI, business intelligence, you've already had this conversation, and by the time the solution is being brought in, there won't be a lot of resistance to adoption.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking, and I don't know why Edwin was making it sound like we've not had this experience where we actually literally got thrown out of an organization because we asked for certain data.
Yes.
And somebody within the structure seems to have had a resistance to letting go of that data. And sadly, the person had a greater influence over the founder that the entire engagement was cancelled.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why I was asking who really needs to be bought in fully to make sure that you'll have a smooth project.
Yeah.
And going forward, it'll add value to the business.
That's a very good question, and how you pointed it has occurred even previously. So it's not, it's not.
It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
But with such, I think the influence should come from the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the conversation could have come from somewhere at the bottom, but it should be influenced by someone at the top, giving directions on. People need to create time to give the support that the team coming in needs to get, and the data that they need for them to be able to deliver the solution.
Yes.
So that influence should come from the top, because when it comes from the top, everyone will listen.
Yes.
Yeah. And the top person needs to be totally explained to why this is important. So that as much as there's other influences and factors coming in from other sides, like you're saying, they already know why this is key.
Okay.
If they don't know, it becomes easier to sway them away and tell them, no, this one, no, don't do this.
And I guess that was the question we had, the first part, which is people over 45, how do we?
Yeah.
Because most of our founders.
I'll defend my age mates. I don't believe there's really a resistance.
Okay.
I know once doing a project, and there was the founder who was about 80. His son was about 50s, 60s. Yet when it came to technology adaptation, the father who was 80 was actually more receptive than the son who was younger.
But that's one example. How can you use one example?
No, there are very many. I can give you a whole list of them where, and I think what you say, and that's why I'm dwelling on the issue of what is a question you want answered.
Yes.
Now, if you cannot come up with a question, then what you start looking for is loopholes in the suggestion for the data. But if you know what question needs to be answered, it does not matter your age. Then you'll say, get me the answer to the following question. Is my business sustainable into the next year? That's the answer I want as the founder. Now, if you tell me for me to answer that question, I want everyone to put all their data into this box. Because if it's not all here, I will not be able to comprehensively answer the question. Yes. And this is, we're seeing a lot of this. I'm having a challenge with my bankers. And this is a large bank. And what I've realized over the last 2 weeks we've been having a back and forth is there's a disconnect in data flow. And this has become very prevalent with this thing you call WhatsApp and direct phone numbers. So now you have no way of proving you communicated because your communication was either with somebody on their private number or on their WhatsApp. You see, now the organization is blind to this conversation that's going on. As opposed to long time, I know you people never used phone booths. Some of us, where basically an organization had a single point of truth.
Extension.
You called a single number. And when that number was picked up, certain information will be collected. And that information will then be used to channel where the conversation goes.
They still have that with customer care.
No, very few organizations. And I'll tell you, go and even look at companies you deal with. Do you know the organization's contact number or do you know the salesperson's contact number? Data ownership is very important, but we have ignored the whole conversation about who owns that customer data. If it's sitting on a staff member's WhatsApp, then it's no longer the organization's data. Now data ownership has.
So it's between the customer and the staff.
Yes.
Okay.
So we need to come back. And I think if you're looking at a supermarket, it's easy. Because the cashier does not go to do a transaction outside.
It's on the POS.
It's on the POS. So all the data has been collected. If you have a loyalty system, then you're also collecting data. And now the organization has all the data it needs for the intelligence to be truly intelligent. But where you have certain transactions happen away from the till, that you have a side door where people can buy and for cash. You see? And I believe that's what cost Nakumatt part of its problem. Because there literally were multiple sources for goods to depart.
It's very, very interesting to understand. Mine was on the lack of skill part, especially since as a university we train. How do we get that better? Or is it that big a deal that we don't have that skill at all? Because lack of skill, basically you're saying, is a huge shortage.
All right. So there could be shortage in two ways. It could be the technical skill, or it could be the founder trying to understand what this whole terminology around BI is.
Queries and logic.
SQL and the rest.
Yes. So for the technical skills, it could be that them as an SME, they don't have that internal skill. And they probably don't know who is the right person to talk to help them get the skill. Yeah. So cases we've encountered is mostly people channel these kind of inquiries to Microsoft. And then Microsoft, we are a partner where I work at Pathways Technologies. We are partners with Microsoft. So Microsoft reach out to us as the data analytics partner. Then now they handle the conversation in terms of these are the people we know they will develop for you. So now the conversation begins from there. So a good way to start is just structuring it to someone you know, like Microsoft. It's known. Then now they will give you the right person to talk to.
Okay.
That is the first bit. Then the second bit is trying to make these founders or board members to understand the importance of business intelligence, the buy-in that you are talking about.
Okay.
For them to buy in, they need to understand the whole concept, and then they need to see some valuable or tangible reports that can help them or guide them in a way for them to now adopt or even think about, pushing now the IT to, or the right people to bring in the BI. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Which then brings us to the question of,
Yeah.
I'm an SME. I've been doing 30 years. I've not collected data all these years.
Yeah.
But I listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm getting interested. I want this BI thing.
Yes.
Where do I start?
Where do you start? Okay. So
I know you had talked about the process.
Yes.
Before, but now how do I start real data collection, for example? Where do I start?
Okay, good question. So first, back to the point that I was saying earlier, understanding the questions that you want. Then creating a data culture in your organization.
So you start there.
Start there. Before even you say, I have these consultants I've brought in. You see, now people will be like, what are we talking about here? Start with creating an environment that will be easier to accept that solution when it comes in. Then,
and when you say data culture, you're saying what? We now buy technology?
No. Don't even buy. No.
Yeah, I think we need a deep dive into what is data culture. What is a data culture?
Okay, data culture is basically now telling these employees or departments what you need from them in terms of reports. Okay. Having a discussion with them, because people, when they're actually doing these reports, they know what it is they give you, maybe end of the month, end of the week, or end of the day for finance, for example. So them having a conversation with you, they can tell you, for this report, maybe we'd like to see this. Or we usually develop this by creating this and this. Yeah. So those and the key performance indicators for this organization. So when you have these conversations with people, you can now bring in the concept of, there's this business intelligence that helps you do this either faster, or by now maybe creating reports for you that are already, once created, you'll be using them instead of now using 8 hours that you're using in a day to generate this one report. It will be there. It will give you time to focus on other things, ideas, strategies, and even presenting things on time.
Yes.
So initiating that conversation, that is the culture you're trying to cultivate.
Okay. So if they are still doing it on Excel,
yes, they'll just continue.
Okay.
At that point, remember, these are just conversations happening for you to initiate that culture. And then if they're doing, let's say on Excel, as you're saying, how clean is this data? Is it consistent? Is it clean? Consistent meaning if it's a daily collection of this information, is it being keyed in there daily? Or is there days we'll see blank? Because now that will tell the whole story.
And then the next day there's 3 times the amount of data keyed in.
And then we're seeing sales on Wednesday going
through the roof.
700,000.
have that problem, especially in SMEs. You might find, for example, if you have, let's say, a salon and this receptionist who keys in the date of people walked in.
Yes.
The day she goes on leave,
no data has been keyed in.
No one sits there again because we are now waiting until
she comes back to collect this.
Yeah.
So that is a big conversation. Now that culture of consistency, of not having gaps, of them being, just disciplined with how this data is being collected at their level, at the Excel where they're comfortable with. Okay. So now, these conversations are happening. Then now you've brought in the right people. You've had conversations. You've seen maybe proof of concepts. You are like now getting into this concept that you actually want to implement in your organization. So maybe even at that point, we're dealing with these consultants, you can ask them, here is some of our data. We can sign an NDA at this point. Here is some of our data. You can use this to just come and present to the board or the CEO or the CFO, whoever the top management. So they give you that information. You do something very small and simple. Remember, here it's now buy-in and just confirming that whatever we are hearing and whatever discussions we've been having is actually, making sense to us. They come, they probably like now these dashboards. They tell you maybe right now we have the budget, or wait for it until we get a budget. It's okay. Just it's a thing that we're used to waiting. Even it could take even a year before they're ready. Yeah, but they've seen what it is you're offering, the value you're bringing to the table. So now the budget has been approved, contract has been signed. So at this point, what again we do just to confirm and talk to everyone is now the requirements gathering I was talking about. Having sessions. I have a whole video on requirements gathering that I've done on my channel. But now talking to these people and understanding every question and remember, you as the data person, maybe you're not an expert in this field. You want to understand the concepts, the terminologies they're using, what it means to them, what kind of KPIs they're monitoring. And then once you understand that, you confirm with them. Go think about what they've said, confirm with them, or tell them maybe here, I think you might need this if the data is available. Yeah, because the end goal is to help them make full use of their data, right? So requirements gathering is now done. We are now ready to delve into the data. Even you are now understanding what it is they want properly from now, a project perspective now. So the project is on. So collecting this data. So you told me you want count of customers on this day. So where do I get now bring in IT who are maybe putting in the data, or even just them? Maybe it could be they don't even have an IT department. Yeah. So just talking to them. So how do you source this customer data? What do you use? They tell you maybe first name, last name. Where is it? In which Excel? The Excel that is written this and this. Okay. So that helps you now to understand what exactly they use on their day-to-day, so that now when you're bringing in this data into a database, you're actually translating exactly what they told you. Number of customers, how do you do it? Do you do like a distinct count of these customers, or do you do in a day? If maybe I've come twice, I came in in the morning, then I've come in, do you do like now that count twice? Or will you just do Loren day on Monday once? Those are things that are key, because someone might have a concept, an idea of, on Monday we had 50 customers, but in reality I came in 3 times. So that could give you a count.
They've counted you.
Yeah, they've counted me based on their timing, but then maybe whoever is expecting this information is expecting only once, right? So yes, I came in 3 times, but that does not mean it's Loren times 3. It's just Loren once.
So people need to start coming into shops with this.
Yes, and I think you're raising what Edwin was saying. It's if you look at loyalty systems, loyalty systems help you to know whether an organization truly has a data culture.
Yes.
If you remember Nakumat, they used to have, they were one of the first ones to come up with a loyalty card. Uchumi at one point also had a loyalty card. But the difference was, if you walked into Nakumat, when you get to the cashier, when you're checking out, the first question the cashier would ask you, are you a loyalty card holder?
But they still do.
Nakumat died.
No, as in...
Yes, that's I'm giving you the journey.
Okay. The journey, yeah.
This is years back.
Okay.
Both Nakumat and Uchumi, even Tuskies, all had loyalty programs. Yeah. But the only one that enforced the loyalty was Nakumat.
Yes.
And every cashier was trained to make sure the first question you ask a customer, are you a loyalty card holder? Then if they are, you start the transaction from there. Then any discounts and the rest now become effective.
Yes. Now,
the other supermarkets just picked up the loyalty program without understanding that there needs to be a culture change.
Yes.
Internally. So today, if you now go to most supermarkets, they have now adopted. The first question you'll be asked,
do you have a card?
Do you have a card?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And because now what that does, and I think based on
Yeah.
what you're calling business intelligence, is it does not help to know that you had 5,000 customers. You know, I tell most businesses they have their biggest customer is called cash. So I ask them, how do you send them Christmas cards?
Yes.
Say, no, but we don't know them. I said, so you can't tell me those are your customers.
Yes.
But it's one customer called cash.
Yes.
People are paying in cash.
Yeah.
People are paying in cash. So what you do is you ignore them
Yes.
because they are paying in cash.
Yeah.
But you want data of the person who you give credit to. So you start wondering, are you a retail business or are you a bank?
Yeah.
So when you look at those behaviors, so now for the supermarket, they know that Robert has shown up
Yes.
10 times this month.
Yes.
He normally comes in on Sunday afternoon. He normally visits our branch at Koinange Street or at Kimathi Street.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can see whether there are changes in my behavior.
Yes.
But that will only happen if you know me as a data point.
Yes.
Yeah.
As your customer.
So the same applies now, is that, and that's the culture we are saying of data.
Yeah.
Because just collecting, person A came and paid us 10 shillings. Another person came and gave us 5 shillings.
Yes.
You have no clue
Yes.
whether these 3 people are the same person, have they come here before.
Yes.
And that's where the SME now needs to be very careful. Because a lot of SMEs now still don't have an appreciation for why they need to collect clean data.
Yeah.
Because if I show up 2 years, I've collected data for 2 years, but all I have is cash sales. You can't help me.
Yeah.
All you can give me is say, fine, you have more business on this day than this day.
Yes.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really more the selling point for the SME is, can you start appreciating that your data in a way becomes your competitive advantage?
You have to be as granular as possible.
You have to get as granular as you can. So like you're talking about the salon.
Yeah.
You need to know Robert comes, what shampoo does he prefer?
Yes.
Does he dye his hair?
Do we include the person who also cleans the hair? Who he prefers for that?
Yes. Remember, for the business, it helps them to know also this stuff on staff management and the HR bit. Because that is crucial.
So, you know, because at times you'll find you have five shampoo girls.
Yes.
But only 3 really work.
Yes.
Okay.
The other 2, half the time, are politicking.
Yes. Or the other 2 are the source of why you lost 10 customers.
10 customers, yes.
Yeah, so we're in the final part of the session. So we start by Loren giving us an example of someone she has encountered out there.
Yeah.
Who's
been able to use business
intelligence.
Yes.
Or Power BI.
Yes.
Business intelligence. Power BI is the tool.
It's one of the tools.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Power BI is one of the tools amongst others.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you had brought in the supermarket conversation just before we went on a break, because that's where I'll start with. So we dealt with this supermarket in Meru, small supermarket. They really wanted BI. And the reason why this founder wanted BI is because he had attended one of the trainings. Actually, that training, we had it in collaboration with Strathmore. It was among our very first trainings. So he came to class. It was back then, 2017, thereabout.
Oh, so it's something that happens.
It's something that happens. But that was our very first training. We just decided, let's do some training, you know. We see if people will turn out to learn about BI. That was part of his technologies.
What was the title of the training?
I can't remember. But
was it done here?
Yes, it was done here.
Okay.
Yes. So our very first one. So he had attended and he got interested. So he approached us and said, I have this supermarket. How can I make use of data? So I traveled to Meru at the time to just have an understanding and see how they operate. It was a thing for like 2 days, so that now day one was more of observing how customers come in, how their patterns basically, and also the staff, how they're responding, the aisles and all that. And then day 2 was now having conversations with these different people in charge. Yeah, so understanding the picture and doing requirements, gathering analysis, which is what I was talking about earlier. So we helped them. So the processes I mentioned, still same processes applied in this supermarket. But basically, one of the things they did and understand about their customers was in terms of products diversification. Milk, as basic as milk, which is the milk they prefer in Meru.
Okay.
Bringing Brookside all the way, and they're not buying.
People might not want Brookside.
Yeah, they're more conversant with maybe a local farmer who sells that milk, and maybe is a person who is known in the village.
Yes.
That's what the milk they prefer, because they know it's being sourced from.
And so before you guys, they did not know that.
They didn't know all these behaviors.
Then they had a POS or no?
They did have a POS. So that's the data now that we were also using, part of the data that we are using to give them these insights. So basic products, milk, bread, knowing where these products are being sourced from helped them now narrow down. Instead of bringing in so many different products, they were now using things from around, sourcing from around. And then also in terms of inventory, expired goods, understanding when these expired goods are almost
expiring, so you can
so
put
that
them
now
in
the
that.
people in the line items can be able to arrange these things categorically based on also expiry date for them to move.
Okay.
And then also just the arrangement of the supermarket.
Okay.
That is a big one. Yes,
Okay.
because Edwin, Robert, these are two different customers. Edwin likes buying milk, bread, Blue Band. But Blue Band is on shelf 10, milk is on shelf 1, bread is on shelf 3. And so bringing in these products together to make it easier for the customer to just pick milk, bread, Blue Band, and go. That's one of the concepts that also actually major supermarkets use to also put in like offers, or to put in, you see, like when you enter Naivas and you find some products on offer being around in a certain place.
Yeah.
It's because it's faster for people to see that than when it's
up on the shelf.
somewhere, somewhere else. So that helps them arrange the supermarket as well. And then also just in terms of inventory control, what I was explaining earlier, stocking the products and knowing which products move when on certain days. So those are the major things that I remember that changed even after the project. Like those were things you could see have actually transformed. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if I already have data,
yes,
you can come in and be useful.
Yes.
So in other words, you can go into the data, look at it, and give me certain answers.
Yes.
And then it's for me to create the question now.
Yes, sometimes that happens. Because sometimes you as the founder or whoever you're talking to has the initial understanding and what they think they want.
Yes.
But sometimes there is more to this data that you can offer.
Okay. So when you show that to them.
Yes.
So people should not fear. So the best thing then is really, just because you're not utilizing business intelligence now.
Yeah.
But if you've been collecting data.
Yes.
That data can be utilized.
Spot on.
To then give you an instant view now.
Yes.
From what your data is, and then once you've seen what reports, what intelligence you've given me, it then helps me to then ask now the more other questions.
Yes.
And then now we can adjust data collection.
Yes.
Going forward.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Which means even if it's not granular now, then people should not be concerned.
Yes.
Because some people may be afraid and say,
I only have general information.
Yes.
So maybe it won't help me.
You should not be worried about that.
Yes.
Just call someone who knows about business intelligence.
Yes.
Start the journey from there and then scale out.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, for example, even in your case, was staff part of it?
Staff in terms of the reports?
Yes. When you went to the supermarket, were you only just looking at the customer side floor plan, or were there other elements? For example, did you look at the staff? Maybe some needed. You find that one thing we found from our research is sometimes owners don't know there are some staff who are doing double jobs. I mean, like they are redundant, but they are in there. But the reason you don't know is because you don't know what each person is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Until you have it clearly mapped.
Yeah.
That, okay, Kume, this guy has been doing the same job as this other person. So what I was trying to figure out is, does that also apply in business terms? Because one thing we know is, for business, people either want to increase profit or reduce cost.
Yes.
So we just want to know, can BI also help?
Yes.
Either.
Yes, it can. Well, not in that instance for the supermarket, but I
have
have
any
dealt.
cases
Yes,
okay.
yes. I've dealt with other organizations, like for example, energy. Well, Serengeti Energy, we did a project with them. So also you are able to see the operations bit of things and the safety and health, who is in charge on the ground on when certain maybe occurrences happened that contributed to us losing this much money because someone did not do their work as they should.
Okay.
So something that impacted the environment that could be as a result of someone being on duty, but then
So it can pick up negligence.
yes,
and then yes, and therefore, so I think as what you asked, Edwin, is even in the supermarket,
yes,
because each cashier logs in,
yes,
so you can actually extract productivity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or the number
Yes.
of people.
So you can know how many transactions they handled,
yes,
and also in terms of volume. Did they pass more items, or did they just handle more people?
that's a good.
And then now you can rearrange, and this is somebody who is a bit slow.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to put them on the
Farthest.
under 10.
under 10 items.
Or the farthest.
Yeah,
Or the farthest, and I think what it is that once you're collecting the data,
yes,
it's easier to then get intelligence. But if you have not collected data, then really we can't start the journey,
yes,
or the journey now will be longer
it will be
because we are starting from zero today,
yes,
and it'll also seem expensive.
yeah,
But if you already know what questions are being answered, because like we're saying, maybe what is happening, you're keeping customers too long in checkout.
No.
Yeah.
yes,
So either you need to add another cashier desk,
yes,
or make your cashiers more efficient. What is it that's slowing them down?
yes,
Yeah. And I know one thing was scanning.
The barcode.
Yes, it's very interesting. Here, they don't do it much, but in the US, if your barcode is scanned 2 or 3 times and it fails, the supermarket surcharges you. Yeah, because your barcode should be perfect. It should be a single swipe. Because if you make my cashier swipe it 3 times, you're messing up my reputation as a business, and it's costing me.
Oh, so you're talking about the products.
Yes, the product you sort of, and that's why sometimes dealing with product quality needs to be pushed by the consumer. And in this case, for example, the supermarket can push that so that you make sure your labeling is done right. And they are also able to, most point of sale systems I know are able to pick whether the code was scanned in or was manually keyed in. You see, all that now is the kind of business intelligence you want to use, and then you now literally go and tell someone, sorry, unless you improve your barcode, I'll not stock your product. Because it's slowing down my lines. And you know how Kenyans are. We don't like lines. I tell people we are a spoiled bunch of people.
But we have the longest lines.
West Africans have the longest lines, even in petrol stations. You never have a line in a petrol station. You drive in, you see 3 cars in front, you move on.
You go to another one, it's true.
Yes.
So
the culture of people abandoning a trolley is very quick here.
Okay.
And even in banks, the same case.
Yes.
The tellers, who is faster, how many customers have they served.
But our banks, actually come to think of, now that you talk of banks, why are our banks avoiding ticketing systems?
But they have.
No, very few use them.
Or at least the bank I go to has.
Very few of them use them, and even the ones who use them, you'll notice that your 50 of you in the banking hall, there's still one cashier.
So
the other stations are
not optimized.
So basically what's supposed to happen, I think this is part of the business intelligence, so the manager should have been notified. There are 50 people in the banking hall.
Yes.
We have one cashier.
Yeah.
Bring the other 3 cashiers.
Yes.
Open up the counters so you can, and if necessary, the manager should be able to come and stand at the cashier.
Yes.
Bank teller. Please give them the right
They are bank tellers. What's the difference?
No, that's what you see written there.
No, but what's the difference?
It's better.
No, see, I give them a check, they give me money.
Yeah, but
They give me cash. Cashier.
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 Yeah.
okay.
Semantics.
So the final thing is perhaps what are the pitfalls? What are things that if they are already embarking on this journey, what should they be cognizant of? The pitfalls, so that they don't make mistakes that may affect them down the road.
Right. First is just buying unnecessary systems that they don't need, because it's costly, and then you end up having a confusion state, like things are not in one place because this one is using this one HR system, someone is using Zoho, another one is using Dynamics 365.
Yeah.
So all that, you need to figure it out and have one, an integrated system probably, preferably, so that people are speaking on the same language.
So you're saying one system you use for everything?
For not for everything. It could be different systems. It could be we have the customer relation management system, transaction system, but let it not be that, let's say,
the data sitting separately.
Yes, separately.
The data needs to sit together
You're
somewhere.
in marketing, you're using Zoho, I'm using Dynamics, someone else is putting the data in Excel.
Okay.
And we're in one department.
Marketing department, okay.
Yes. And then we go to finance, maybe, they're using, most times finance are usually organized. They usually have one system.
Okay.
In most of my encounters.
Yeah.
But other departments, sometimes they deflect and people are just comfortable in their own zone. So it helps not to buy so many different systems and just using, at least maybe one or two, so that even during integration and during data analysis, it's giving you one point of view. Because someone else will say, no, but me, I keyed in this much. But for me, I'm expecting this much. So how is it that happened? It avoids all those unnecessary conversations. Yeah.
Okay.
And then cognizant in terms of also hiring the right skill set. Because there are so many people who maybe they've just gone through a bit of training and now they're calling themselves an expert. That can be, a bit confusing, because then they'll bring in information and tell you, maybe give you even higher costs than what is expected, than industry standards, like what maybe Microsoft has set, that probably other partners use. So be cognizant of that. You might say it's costly, but you just had the wrong person to do the job for you. And maybe they didn't even do the correct job. Yeah, so that avoids unnecessary services, or even after the project, people are not using the reports because it's not giving the right information.
Yeah,
because someone didn't do their job right. Yeah, there's that, and then there's also now just being consistent, as I mentioned earlier, because without the right information being keyed in and consistently, analytics will just give you as is. So if you don't key in for a whole month and you expect BI to give you a nice dashboard for this month, that's not going to happen. Garbage in, garbage out. Yeah.
Okay. Or no garbage in, no garbage out.
Yeah.
But just on the same, are you able to value the information that the business intelligence?
Yeah.
Is it possible for somebody to know what's the value to the business? Because I know a lot of times we talk about cost. It could be 1.5 million, but maybe the reports I got over the 12 months allowed me to reduce my stocking
by that amount,
by 20%.
Yes.
Which therefore meant I actually made more money.
Yes.
I might have ended up making 5 million.
Yes.
But I only incurred 1.5. Because I think for most businesses that becomes an easier...
You're basically talking about return on investment on the 1.5 or less.
Yes.
Depending on where you are.
Yeah. And don't forget that the 1.5 would be a one-off.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you recover it in the first year, then really you're improving profit.
Yeah.
So business intelligence, in a way,
actually
affects the bottom line.
Yeah.
So I think it's about... Is it possible to get a number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could be even just based on the reports you're generating, right?
Yes.
For example, let's say in March 2023, I had sales, I had customers, I had profit of a certain value.
Yeah.
And now we implemented maybe BI, say 2024 January, and now March this year.
Yes.
Or even just from January, I could already see higher number of customers, higher So you can be able to track, are these new customers or are we doing something good with the existing customers, and now marketing doing the job based on answers received from the data.
Yes.
That is now making us get more acquisition and more profitable. So yeah, just by the data itself. Yeah.
Thank you. This is the end. You hear the story here is start now. Never late. What do they say?
It's never too late to start.
Yeah, that one. It's never too late to start.
Yeah.
This has been SME Unleashed.
Yeah.
By Edwin Obonyo, Strathmore Centre for Value Investing.
Robert Yawe from Strathmore University.
All right. My name is Loren Anduvare. I've been the guest. The chief guest.
Chief guest
today. Yeah, I'm an alumni of Strathmore University. I work with Pathways Technologies, and I also have a show called Data Talks with Loren, which you should subscribe to, because there's a lot of BI things there going there. So go and subscribe.
I hope it's not technical,
No, I try to manage.
If it's too technical, then
it's too technical.
SQL.
See, you watch.
SQL now.
See, we usually watch.
No, we'll put her in class with our business people.
Then we see
if she can bring it down to
business
to
level.
the business level. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
Sounds
people
fair.
who are over 35. So
Sounds fair.
Not Gen Z.
This age discrimination must end.
Thank you and see you soon.
Bye.
Kwaheri.